I found out the hard way that family loyalty can gut you deeper than any stranger ever could. My name's Hazel Warren. I'm 32, and I thought I'd finally done it. Built something that mattered. I ran a small but solid event planning business out of Mason, Kentucky, the same dusty town I grew up in. Blue Fern events, weddings, galas, fundraisers. I handled it all. Built it from scratch. Every client, every invoice, every win, mine. My parents, Linda and Gerald, still live in the same beige ranch house off County Road 12. They've always had two speeds. Silent judgment for me, blind defense for my sister, Brielle. She's 3 years younger, always the golden child. I used to think it was just sibling rivalry, but over time, it became damn near impossible to ignore. Brielle was the kind of kid who'd cry her way out of a speeding ticket. And it worked. She was messy, impulsive, reckless, flunked out of 2 community colleges, picked up random hobbies like candle making or dog grooming, then dropped them just as fast. But no matter how many screw-ups she racked up, Mom would find a way to spin it as ambitious. Meanwhile, I was the one who had to be perfect. I started working at 15, waitressing after school, saving every dime. I got a scholarship to Western Kentucky, lived at home to keep costs down, graduated with honors. I stayed local to be near my family. I thought that would mean something. It didn't. At every holiday dinner, I'd hear Mom telling Brielle how proud she was that she was finding herself. Meanwhile, I was scolded for being too blunt when I didn't want to lend her money or collaborate on some half-baked idea she'd dreamt up overnight. Don't get me wrong, I loved Brielle, but I kept my distance. Had to. I'd learned the hard way that trying to help her only ended in guilt or gaslighting. Still, a part of me always left the door cracked, just in case she changed. That crack was all she needed. Quick note: before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. It started small, a question here, a compliment there. She'd ask about my business, pretend to be curious. How do you track your bookings? Or, what kind of software do you use? I'd answer without thinking because she was my sister. Family. I had no reason to suspect anything. But that changed one night. One night she crossed a line I didn't even know existed. And the worst part? I let her in. I told myself I was being kind, generous, the good sister. What I really was? Stupid. That night didn't just shake my business. It cracked open every lie we'd been raised on. After that night, I couldn't stop thinking about how easy it was for Brielle to slip under my guard. But truth was, the cracks had been forming for years. After college, I came straight back to Mason and threw everything I had into Blue Fern events. No investors, no handouts, no shortcuts. I planned birthday parties out of church basements just to build a name. Did all the work myself. Booking, budgeting, hauling folding chairs in the back of my sedan. It took years, but eventually I got there. A solid reputation. Clients who paid on time. Word-of-mouth referrals. A real business. Meanwhile, Brielle bounced around like a damn pinball. One minute she was selling protein shakes online. The next she was taking a real estate exam she never finished. She got obsessed with influencer culture and started calling herself a digital branding specialist, even though she didn't have a single client. Every few months she'd pop up with a new plan. I'm building a lifestyle blog, or I've got a brand deal lined up. Then she'd ghost it when the first obstacle hit. My parents ate it up like it was gospel. She's creative, Mom would say. She's just wired differently. And I was the one expected to nod along, smile, support it. Brielle did offer to help with Blue Fern's marketing once. Said she could revamp my social media. You're good at logistics, she told me, but your branding's kinda stale. I bit my tongue and thanked her for the feedback. A week later, she brought up the idea of partnering. Full-on partnership. 50-50, she said, leaning across the table like we were shaking on a startup deal. You do the events, I'll handle the online stuff. I almost laughed. Instead, I just said, I think it's better if I keep the business structure the way it is. Her smile dropped fast. Wow. Okay, guess you don't believe in me. It's not that, I told her. I've just worked really hard to build this. I'm not looking to make changes. She didn't say anything else that night, but I could feel the ice in the room. From then on, dinners got tense. Mom would go on about how hard Brielle was trying. She's finally taking initiative. Dad would clear his throat and change the subject every time I mentioned her mounting credit card bills or the fact that she still lived rent-free with her friend Nicole. They didn't want to hear it. To them, I was always too harsh, too critical. 3 weeks before everything blew up, she came to me again, this time asking for $5,000. "I've got a whole new plan," she said, pacing around my office. "I want to rebrand, build something serious. I just need a little boost." I leaned back in my chair. "You want a loan?" "It's not a loan if you believe in me." That line hit something raw. I took a breath, tried to keep calm. "Brielle, I can't give you $5,000, but I'll help you brainstorm, maybe set up a free website." She cut me off hard. "You always think I need your advice. I don't want ideas. I need actual support for once." "You think I haven't supported you?" I asked. "I've helped every time you needed something." "You've judged me every step of the way," she snapped. "You're just mad I'm not you." Then she grabbed her purse, stormed out, slammed the door so hard my bookshelf shook. I stood there, still holding the coffee I'd made her. Same story, different day. I try to do the right thing, and somehow I end up the villain. But that night hit different. Something in her eyes. It wasn't just hurt, it was calculated. Like a fuse had been lit. I should have seen it coming. But when you're raised to believe love means loyalty, even when it costs you, you miss the warning signs. I didn't know it then, but Brielle wasn't spiraling anymore. She had a plan, and I had just told her no. 2 nights later, she called me out of nowhere. It was just after 7. I was knee-deep in prep for the winter fundraiser, the biggest event I had all year. Regional hospital board. High rollers, media coverage, serious money. I had spreadsheets open, inventory counts running, catering on standby. My phone lit up. "Brielle." "Hey," she said, her voice shaky. "I had a fight with Nicole. I can't stay there tonight." I didn't say anything right away. "I don't need a big thing," she added. "Just a place to sleep, one night. I'll be gone in the morning." I looked around the living room, half covered in floral samples and gift bags. "Brielle, I've got back-to-back client meetings in the morning." "I get it. I'll be quiet. I don't want to sleep in my car." That part hit me. "Fine," I said. "Guest room's made up. Come over." She showed up about an hour later, oversized duffel slung over her shoulder like she was moving in for a week. "This is just overnight?" I asked. She gave a half smile. "Yeah, I didn't know what I'd need." We sat at the kitchen counter while I picked at leftover pasta. She wasn't eating much, just scrolling on her phone. Eventually, she set it down and looked at my laptop. "You use this for everything?" "Pretty much. Emails, bookings, payments." "Why?" She shrugged. "Just curious. I'm thinking of doing my own thing too, eventually, like setting up a site, maybe coaching or e-com." "I don't know yet." I nodded. "That's good. What kind of coaching?" She waved her hand. "Like business lifestyle stuff. Branding, confidence, I'm still figuring it out." Then she leaned in a little. "So how do you track payments? Like client invoices. Do you have a system for that?" I paused. "Yeah, I use Stripe. Everything's digital. Client profiles, invoices, records, all backed up." She looked impressed. "So it's all in the cloud? Like if your laptop crashed, you'd still be good?" "Exactly. I keep everything synced." She nodded again like she was storing it away. I didn't think much of it at the time. She'd asked questions before. We talked a little more about her fight with Nicole, something about rent being late, again. Then she said she was tired. I showed her to the guest room, gave her a towel and clean sheets. Before she closed the door, she stepped out and hugged me. "You really do have it all, huh?" she said into my shoulder. I pulled back. "It's not as perfect as it looks. Just a lot of work." She smiled. "Still, you built something real." I forced a smile back. "Get some rest. I've got an early morning." I went upstairs, popped half a sleep aid, and left my laptop charging on the coffee table downstairs. Didn't even think twice about it. That was my mistake. I slept harder than usual. That half dose of sleep aid knocked me out cold, which is exactly what she was counting on. Downstairs, while I was dead to the world, Brielle helped herself to my unlocked laptop. She didn't guess my password. She didn't have to. I left it open on the coffee table, like I always did when I was working late. She went through my entire client list, copied names, dates, invoice amounts, accessed my Stripe dashboard, and changed the contact email to one I didn't recognize. Then she registered a domain, bluefernsevents.co, damn near identical to mine, with one tiny S added. Just enough to fool anyone not paying close attention. She downloaded my logo, copied my email signature, and built a basic landing page using a free website builder. Then she linked that fake domain to a new Stripe account, but tied the payments to her personal PayPal. Not even a business name, just Brielle. Warren, 88. By 3 a.m., she'd sent 5 invoices to 5 of my top-tier clients, including the hospital board. She made it look like they were prepayment requests for the upcoming fundraiser and a few spring weddings I had on the books. $14,700. Gone. Rerouted into her own account while I was upstairs dreaming about table placements and linen colors. At 6 a.m., she slipped out like a damn burglar. She didn't text, didn't call, just left a handwritten note next to my coffee maker. Had to run, emergency work thing. Appreciate you, sis. XO. When I finally woke up around 7:30, I was groggy but in go mode. I downed a cold brew, threw on a blazer, and checked my phone. Nothing unusual. I didn't notice anything off until 9:17, when Amanda Jacobs from the hospital board called. Hey Hazel, quick question. We got your invoice last night, but the confirmation email looks different. New domain? Blue Ferns with an S? I froze. My stomach dropped hard. I didn't send any invoices last night, I said, standing up so fast my chair scraped the tile. Can you forward me what you got? Sure thing. It came through around 3 this morning. We already paid it. Just wanted to make sure it was legit. My chest tightened. You already paid it? Yeah, everything looked normal. Just a slightly different email address. I thanked her, hung up, and sprinted to the kitchen. The note was still there, mocking me with that stupid XO. I grabbed my laptop, and that's when I saw the logout from Stripe. I clicked in, locked out, tried again, password reset required. I checked the login email. It was changed. My hands shook as I opened the forwarded invoice. It had my logo, my business name, my signature, but the domain was off, bluefernsevents.co. She didn't even bother making it look different. I checked the domain registry next. The site had gone live less than 48 hours ago. I clicked contact. The listed email, briellewarren88@gmail.com. I stood there in my kitchen, staring at her note, while 1,000 pins stabbed behind my eyes. I called her, straight to voicemail. Tried again. Nothing. Then I texted, "Call me now. I know what you did." No reply. I sat down, head spinning, and started combing through my files. 5 clients had prepaid gigs scheduled. I emailed every single one of them. 2 responded within the hour. Both said the same thing. They'd received invoices overnight. Both had paid. It wasn't just a one-off. She targeted every client who paid in advance. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. I wanted to scream. Instead, I called the only people who might help, my parents. Mom picked up. "Hi, sweetie." "Where's Brielle?" I asked. "She left early this morning, said she had work." "Why?" "She stole from me." A pause. "What?" "She used my laptop, stole client info, made a fake website, sent fake invoices. She took nearly 15 grand. That doesn't sound like Brielle. It was Brielle. Her email's tied to the new account. She left me a note like nothing happened." Mom was quiet, then said, "Maybe someone else used her name." "Mom, come on," I heard Dad in the background. "What's going on?" "She's saying Brielle hacked her business or something." Dad got on the line. "Hazel, are you sure? Maybe double-check before accusing someone of serious crimes." I did double-check. I have her email, the domain info, the payments. "Just slow down," he said. "Let's not jump to conclusions." That was it. I hung up. They weren't going to help. They never did. I stared at the phone for a long time after I hung up. No missed call, no reply, nothing. I opened my Stripe portal again and tried another password reset. When the link came through, it was sent to a totally different email, one I'd never seen before. The whole account had been hijacked. I opened up my backup records, praying the payments had at least gone through to my original account. But they hadn't. 4 client line items were missing. Payments that should have been marked paid were stuck on pending. One was straight up gone. I couldn't breathe. I clicked through the fake invoices again. The branding was identical. Same font, same spacing. Even the tagline I'd added under the logo, crafting unforgettable moments. She'd copied everything down to the footer links. All she'd changed was the domain. One damn letter. I pulled up the domain registry again. bluefernsevents.co, registered 48 hours ago. The contact email, brielle.warren80@gmail.com. I stared at the screen like it might morph into something else, something that didn't feel like a knife straight to the chest. I called her again, straight to voicemail. Brielle, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I know what you did. You need to call me right now. This isn't just business. This is fraud, theft. You can't walk this back. Call me. Still nothing. I texted again, then again. Same thing. Silence. By noon, I had confirmations from 2 more clients. All had paid overnight. All had used the link she sent. One of them forwarded the PayPal receipt. Her full name was on it. She didn't even bother creating a business alias. Just straight up took money from my clients with her personal account. The panic started to morph into rage. I needed to see it for myself. I logged into PayPal and searched her username. Nothing on my end, obviously, but a reverse image search of her profile picture from the fake invoice pulled up her old Pinterest account. Same handle. It was airtight. I opened my contact spreadsheet and started calling every major client I had for the next 3 months. Hi, this is Hazel from Blue Fern Events. Just doing a quick confirmation of your last invoice. I called 8 people. 5 had already paid. 3 said they hadn't received anything yet, which meant I still had a shot at stopping this before it got worse. I locked my website, changed every password I had, Stripe, email, cloud storage, everything. I was shaking the whole time. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I picked up fast. Hazel Warren, a man asked. Yes. This is Tim Blake from the Carmichael wedding. We paid the invoice this morning, but we got 2 different receipts. One from Stripe, one from PayPal. Just wanted to confirm we're good to go. You paid both? Yeah, my wife handled it. We figured one was automated and one was personal. Forward me both right now, I said. I'll take care of it. Is something wrong? I'll explain later. Just send them. I hung up and opened my parents' contact again. Against every ounce of better judgment, I hit dial. Mom answered. Hazel. She stole from me, I said. Thousands. Multiple clients. All verified. I have the invoices, the PayPal receipts, the fake domain, and her damn Gmail tied to it. Oh, honey, that doesn't sound like Brielle. Mom, stop saying that. I'm not calling because it sounds like her. I'm calling because I have proof. A pause. Then, I just think maybe you're overworked. You've been under so much pressure lately. My mouth went dry. You think I hallucinated a domain registration? Dad took the phone. Hazel, just listen. No, I don't need to listen. I need her to answer her phone. Maybe you messed something up. You've got a lot on your plate right now. You think I don't know how to manage my own damn business? You think I'd misplace almost 15 grand and not notice? Okay, he said, like he was calming a child. Just don't make this bigger than it is. Bigger? This is wire fraud. Let's just wait. Maybe talk it through as a family. You still think she's a lost kid. She's not. She's a thief. No response. I hung up again. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I grabbed my keys, got in the car, and drove straight to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office was quieter than I expected. Just one desk clerk and the smell of stale coffee. Officer Delgado came out to meet me after 15 minutes. Late 40s, shaved head, clipboard in hand. I handed him a folder packed with printed invoices, domain records, screenshots, PayPal receipts, everything. He sat down across from me, flipped through each page, and didn't say much at first. Then he looked up. This is wire fraud. Identity theft too, technically. I nodded, arms folded tight. What's the next step? Well, because it's family, we've got a hill to climb. If she denies access or says you gave her permission, it gets murky. We'll need digital traces, IP logs, maybe a subpoena if she fights it. She's not fighting it, I said. She's pretending it never happened. He gave a slow nod. We'll open a report today. This isn't nothing, Hazel. It's serious. Could go federal depending on what else we find. I signed what he gave me and walked out with a copy of the report. By the time I got home, I was already locking down everything: two-factor authentication, new email domains, backup recovery. I rebuilt the entire structure of my digital business in a single night. Then I emailed every client, explained that there'd been a security breach and their info might have been compromised. I offered full refunds to the ones who'd been hit, out of my own pocket. The guilt ate at me, even though I wasn't the one who stole from them. Around midnight, I opened Instagram. Brielle had just posted. Location tagged: Sedona, Arizona. Photo: her in a white robe, holding a mimosa by an infinity pool. Caption: recharging after a wild work week. Jock grind mode. I stared at the screen, feeling like I was about to black out. There were more: a shopping haul from a boutique in Scottsdale, designer sandals, a spa lunch, poolside drinks. She'd spent the money like it was a gift. I took screenshots of every single post, time-stamped, and saved them all into a folder. The next day, I sent them straight to Officer Delgado. He replied within the hour, "This helps. Keep documenting everything." So I did. Meanwhile, my parents acted like nothing had happened. I called Mom again, tried one last time to make it click. "She's in Arizona, Mom, spending stolen money. There are pictures." "I saw them," she said, voice low. "But how do we know that's your money?" "Because the date of the post matches the date the payments cleared. She stole it. I've shown you proof." Her voice cracked. Maybe someone else used her name. "Why are you working so hard to not believe this?" I snapped. "She's your sister." "No, she's a con artist, and you're enabling her." Click. She hung up. Dad called me a few hours later. "You've always been the dramatic one, Hazel. Maybe just let her come back and talk it through. You don't want to blow up the family over a misunderstanding." "This isn't a misunderstanding. She committed a felony." He sighed like I was the burden. "You're so rigid. She probably just needed help." I stopped explaining. The extended family heard soon after. My cousin Dana messaged me, said I was handling it privately in the wrong way. Aunt Marianne posted some cryptic quote about forgiveness and unity on Facebook, which everyone knew was about me. No one reached out to ask what really happened. They just picked sides, and most picked hers. "You're so uptight. You've always made her feel small. Maybe if you had helped her, she wouldn't have had to do this." Like stealing was a natural reaction to not getting her way. Only one person showed up for me. Uncle Ron. He owned a hardware store just outside of town. A man of few words, mostly spoke through action. One morning, he walked into my office with a bag of donuts and a box of fresh business locks. "People forget what it takes to build something," he said, setting them down. "The rest of them? They don't get it. But I do." I stared at him, my throat tight. "Whatever you need, kid. I've got your back." It was the first time since this started I didn't feel alone. He changed out the locks himself. Didn't ask questions. Didn't blame me. Just acted like what she did was exactly what it was. Theft. No sugarcoating. It reminded me that there were still people who saw the truth and didn't try to twist it. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't cruel. I was robbed. And I was done apologizing for being the only one willing to admit it. A week later, my parents held one of their Sunday brunches. The kind where casseroles outnumber people and everyone pretends nothing's broken. I wasn't invited. No surprise there. I showed up anyway. They lived in the same house I grew up in. Same fake wood paneling, same squeaky screen door. I parked at the curb, folder in hand, and walked up the driveway like I had every right to be there, because I did. Inside, the place was packed. Cousins, aunts, uncles. Brielle was in the dining room, laughing with her mimosa half raised. She froze the second she saw me. I didn't wait for anyone to ask why I was there. "We can do this now," I said loud enough to stop every conversation in the room. "Or I can let the sheriff do it later." The room went still. Brielle stood up slowly, her smile twisting. "What are you even talking about?" I walked over and laid the folder on the dining table, flipped it open. "These are screenshots of the fake invoices you sent." Flip. "These are the domain logs, registered under your Gmail address." Flip. "Here's the IP trace matching your phone's location in Arizona the night the payments cleared." Flip. These are the PayPal receipts. 5 clients, $14,700, all sent to Brielle. Warren, 88. Everyone stared at the papers like they were about to catch fire. Brielle let out a short, breathy laugh. Oh my God, Hazel. You said I could use your branding, remember? We talked about it. You didn't ask, you stole. I thought we were collaborating, she said louder, a little edge creeping in. Maybe I misunderstood. You forged my signature, changed payment emails, faked a business domain. Mom rushed over like she was trying to physically block the truth from landing. Hazel, please, this isn't necessary. Dad stood behind her, arms crossed. You're blowing this out of proportion. You really want to protect her from consequences that badly, I said. Look around. If this were anyone else in this room, you'd already have called the police. Silence. Then Uncle Ron stood up from the corner. She's right, he said flatly. That's theft, plain and simple. If it was my store, I'd be changing the locks and filing charges already. Everyone looked at him. Like hearing it from someone besides me made it real. Brielle's mouth was tight now, her face pale. You're doing this because you've always hated me. No, I said. I'm doing this because you committed a crime. I gave you a place to sleep. You gave me fraud. I was trying to start something of my own. With my money. It wasn't supposed to go like this. I pulled out one last sheet. This is the report number from the sheriff's office. I already filed it. I'm pressing charges. The rest of this is going to Officer Delgado on Monday. She went quiet. Too quiet. Then she exploded. You care more about money than your own sister, she screamed. All you've ever cared about is control. You think just because you planned a few weddings, you're better than everyone else. People jumped. My little cousin actually cried. I didn't move. You're not just my sister, I said. You're a criminal now. Her face twisted like I slapped her. Mom gasped. Hazel, stop it. No, I've stopped enough. Brielle tried to push past me, but I stepped aside. She stormed out, shoving the screen door so hard it bounced off the siding. I stood there, folder still open, surrounded by people who'd never really seen me until right now. You all saw it, I said. Don't pretend you didn't. Then I turned and walked out without another word. By Monday morning, the charges were official. Wire fraud, identity theft. Officer Delgado filed everything. I gave him the full folder, plus the Instagram posts, the domain receipts, the PayPal logs. He said the case was solid. My parents called that night. We'll cover it, Mom said quickly, like ripping off a Band-Aid. All of it, the 14-7. Just drop the charges. I stared at my laptop, calendar open, client calls blinking on and off. That's not the point. She's already lost enough, Dad chimed in. She didn't think it through. She planned it, Dad. Every click, every email, every dollar. She knew exactly what she was doing. You're being vindictive, Mom snapped. No, I'm protecting my business. Something no one else seems willing to do. They hung up on me after that. 2 days later, I heard Brielle lost a job offer. Marketing firm out in Nashville. The recruiter ran her background, saw the pending charges, and pulled it. She posted some vague sob story on Instagram about cancel culture and family betrayal, then went radio silent. The family splintered fast. Some cousins blocked me outright. Others kept quiet, but the judgment leaked through in group texts and missed invitations. But a few started coming around. Cousin Erica sent me a message late one night. I'm sorry, I didn't know how deep it really went. Aunt Shelley dropped off a card that said, You did what I couldn't have. No signature, just that. I didn't need everyone to get it. I just needed enough to know I wasn't crazy. A few clients left Blue Fern, ones who'd heard whispers and didn't want to deal with drama. It stung, but I understood. Reputation mattered in my world. One hint of instability and people scatter. But most stayed. Some even booked follow-ups. One client said, If you handled your own sister like that, I trust you with my entire wedding. I smiled at that one for a long time. Then I got an idea. I booked a room at the local library and hosted a free workshop. Protecting your small business from digital theft. About 20 people showed up. Etsy sellers, dog groomers. One guy who ran a fishing tour company. I walked them through basic security. How to spot scams. How to protect client info. I didn't tell them the full story, but I didn't have to. The room was full of people like me, people who had built something on their own and lived with the fear that one wrong click could tear it down. It helped. Not just them. Me. I started seeing a counselor a week later. Her name was Kelsey. No nonsense. Didn't blink when I laid it all out. I told her how my family made me feel like the villain for standing up for myself. How every time I said no, they made me feel cold, cruel. How I carried the guilt like it was part of me. She looked at me and said, "That's not guilt. That's training. You've been taught to abandon yourself for their comfort." I swear I almost cried. Not because it hurt, because it was so damn true. So I got to work. I blocked Brielle, cut contact. No more updates. No more middle-of-the-night spirals. I set boundaries with my parents, told them they could be in my life, but only if they stopped defending what she did. No more let's move on talks. No more pretending it didn't happen. I didn't get full silence, but I got space, and I guarded it. For the first time in my life, peace wasn't just a wish. It was a wall, a locked gate, a line in the sand, and I didn't let anyone cross it. 6 months later, she showed up. It was a public event, a networking panel I was hosting at the Civic Center. 50 small business owners packed into folding chairs while I stood at the podium, walking them through contracts, fraud prevention, payment security. I spotted her in the back row halfway through. No makeup, hoodie zipped up, hair pulled back. She didn't try to interrupt, didn't wave, just sat quietly, taking notes like she belonged there. After the Q&A, most people filtered out, but she stayed seated. I walked up slowly, arms crossed. "Surprised to see you here." "I figured you would be," she said, standing up. "Can we talk for a second?" We stepped outside into the cold. She looked thinner, tired, but not fake tired. Not the kind she used to perform. "I ruined something you built with your bare hands," she said. "I know that now." I didn't say anything. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I thought I deserved more than I had, but it wasn't mine to take. Still, no tears, no excuses. "I'm sorry," she said. "Really, I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to say it to your face." I looked at her for a long time. "I appreciate the apology. I'm not sure we'll ever be close again." She nodded. "Yeah, I figured." She turned to leave, then paused. "I'm starting over, no shortcuts this time." I watched her walk across the parking lot, then disappear behind a row of parked cars. That night, my mom called, voice shaky. "I heard she came to your event." "Yeah. I've started going to therapy," she said. "I should have believed you sooner. I didn't want to think she was capable of that." My throat tightened. "She was. You just didn't want to look." "I know," she sniffed. "We handled it badly, your father and I. I know that too." There wasn't a big moment after that. No group hug, no closure speech. But I didn't feel crazy anymore. I didn't feel guilty. Thanksgiving came and went. Just me, Uncle Ron, and a few friends from the local business group. He brought pecan pie and didn't ask a single awkward question. We sat around the table and talked about real things. Goals, wins, lessons learned. No drama, no eggshells, just peace. Sometimes healing isn't about going back. It's not about fixing what's broken. It's about building something new in its place and never letting anyone tear it down again.